So we move to the next session, which is panel discussion. The topic is digital citizenship. Set and meal goals for responsible use of technology. For this, I would like to call Mr. Alman Shah, principal at the Sanskar Valley School, Bhopal. Mr. Alman Shah. Mr. Raghu Pandey. Mr. Pandey is the founder of iBranch.in, a web service which provides knowledge-sharing portals to schools and colleges. He has BE in Computer Science from Barkatullah University, Bhopal. It has been 9 years since Raghu is training students and teachers to make the best use of internet in education. He is the author of India Only book on internet maturity and digital citizenship. And the moderator is Mr. Utkarsh Lokesh.
Good afternoon. We were supposed to have 3 panelists for this session, as you might have seen in the agenda, but unfortunately Mr. Kalra has not been able to make it because of last moment travel issues. I hope to finish it obviously within time. I will straight away begin with Raghu, and I would like to begin the talk by highlighting the various reasons, Raghu, why digital citizenship is an essential skill for students.
We have got less time. So let me begin with my strongest assertion of today, that we have talked about a lot of technology into education. If you want to prioritize what you want to do about technology in your school, give the first priority to have a digital citizenship and internet maturity program in place. Then everything else can come in. I know it's a very debatable assertion, but that's what the purpose of me coming here is. The reason being, learning happens through 5 senses, and you have no control over those 5 senses of your students. They are already learning, they are already deep into the technology, the internet waters. So even if you have a full-fledged, intense BYOD, bring your own device program in your school, you are doing it very, very late. Those kids are already into the information ocean called internet, deep into it. And even with the BYOD program well controlled by your organization, the content that you're delivering over those channels, the content that you're delivering over portals like the ones we are talking about today, the other larger part of the internet where kids are visiting is casting a much stronger impression on those kids' minds. So, telling them how to make the best use of the internet, how to avoid the negative effects of the internet, and how to leverage internet for whatever success they want to achieve in life should be first priority, and then yes, the other programs of technology can be used to, improve the school experience. Have I set the tone correct?
I guess definitely, and I would request Mr. Saha to follow it up with how he is doing it maybe.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I've been listening since morning, and Utkarsh, if you permit me, I'll just take 30 seconds out of the topic.
Sure.
We educators, I am a teacher by heart, by profession. I got the admin cap of principalship for the last 15 years. You cannot replace a teacher in the education system. I'll just quote something, maybe it will differentiate. Educational technology, it can just help you. Prestige in life comes only when you have done something well. Honor in life comes when somebody feels you have done something well. The first one, if you consider as the part of the educational technology, your teacher remains with honor, and it will always remain there. Probably this session is going to bridge the gap in terms of digital citizenship. How many of you know about the software or use the software WordPerfect anytime in your life? Okay? Couple of us of generation. That's the first software I learned when I was typing my thesis. For the first time I was using my computer. I learned it. But today, we have gone far ahead, and this generation, what some of you are talking about, they are the technology native students. They are the technology native children in that sense. What we have been doing in the school, we have integrated the digital citizenship as a part of the ICT curriculum, and they are the 10 points which we are teaching them within the curriculum. First, understanding Web 2.0. Whatever we are talking about Web 1.0, that's the past. It's all sharing. Earlier it didn't take place like that. How to create and share digital content. That's the second part of the curriculum. Mature way of social networking. They are all Facebook. Teach them how to do it. Basics of professional networking. They'll require it. For one of the speakers who was 20 from IIT graduate, he requires it right now, and the children will be requiring it even before that. Online forum, discussion skill. What you are talking about, Flint, or you talk about Edmodo, you require it there. Blogging skills for self-expression. How to search knowledge online. Sir, you have been talking about, there's a gentleman who was talking, how to eliminate. Teach them when, how, why. To search the website like that, they will get the answer, which website to follow. What are the OCWs? Open courseware, or we have been talking about MWCs since morning. How to be safe online, and the most important part, there is no more CVs, the paper CVs which will be available in future while we are applying for anywhere else. It's already being prepared unknown to you. It's called online reputation. You have to teach them that they must know how to manage your online reputation. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Whatever you post today online about yourself, it's public since that point. It cannot be private anymore. So your online reputation is being jotted down by the future employer, and they know exactly what type of language you use, what you are talking about throughout the day, what is your friend circle, how do you spend your time, and they have already done the selection procedure. The screening has been done. Utkarsh, I hope I have given you the first fundamentals. Thank you.
Absolutely. The 10 points you mentioned, I applauded for that. I seriously felt that was very important to be highlighted, I guess. So, Raghu, how do you define internet maturity? You mentioned that digital citizenship and internet maturity, but what is your definition for that?
If time would have permitted, I could have given my, my favorite definitions and explanations, but it doesn't. Let me very briefly give an idea of what internet maturity is. We all agree that children of today are digital natives, yes, but as beautifully said by one of my friends in Australia, Mr. Casper Peters, he says they are digital natives, yes, but all of them are really big digital naives. And you cannot, if you think that being internet savvy and being internet mature is the same thing, you are badly mistaken. So, they excel at using technology, but to use technology for what purpose, and giving priority to the purpose and then to the device and the means, that is what maturity is all about. Okay? And there are certain factors, there are certain topics, as Dr. Saha has shared, when they are taught in that sequence, maturity comes in. The first being, if they realize that the world today, the online world today is, the jargon is Web 2.0. It's not a technology, it's the state of affairs, how the world is online. It is different from what it used to be 15 years back. Just one example I'm going to share, and then I'm going to leave it for people to explore it later. The maturity comes in from the fact that if they are realizing that Web 2.0 was not existing 15 years back, which means they have today, whatever they see on internet could be from a layman, could be from anybody with any intentions. So first of all, they should be very sure before absorbing anything from internet. That is point number one. Point number two, they themselves have the power of sharing anything what they can with the larger world. So from this point on, and as you start progressing, gaining skills to create digital content, skills to share it online, professional networking, social networking, online discussion forums, blogging, and right up to building up to online reputation, it peaks at that level. Once a student, if you're confident that this guy is capable of planning his or his online reputation well, that is when we can see that, okay, now he can be trusted with going into the internet deep. So it begins from realization of what is Web 2.0, the kind of world that they're living in, and it peaks at planning of their online reputation and be acting mature enough not to, hamper it.
So, but Mr. Saha, how do how do you frame it in your school? Like, how do you spread it in the community about the importance of the same?
Well, as I was telling you that we have done it as a part of the curriculum. So we know exactly if per week we are getting 3 lessons. They are the topics to be taught. We have mapped it throughout the year as a part of the ICT curriculum. But if you look, ultimately at the end of the day, you are helping the telecommunication department. You are helping the police, cybercrime. If you are making the children aware of these things, in future probably their role or their work will become slightly easier and children will not be falling into the trap. And also, through the children, you are teaching your parents. That's exactly what you are doing to the community if you teach them digital citizenship at this age. If you want to know what exactly the precaution, maybe I can come back afterwards, it's up to you.
So Raghu, you mentioned about this when we met, and I would like you to focus on the common myths that people have with respect to digital citizenship and internet maturity in schools, basically. So what do you think the common myths are when they talk about having it in the you can say in the form of workshop or something?
Right. I will only talk about 2 myths today. The first being our kids are quite internet savvy. I already mentioned it in my last talk. Our kids are quite internet savvy, so I don't think we need a digital citizenship or internet maturity program. They are already very experienced with that. That is myth number 1. I already proved it's not so when I was talking last time. The second is this thing, or we can make our students internet mature or mature digital citizens by organizing few workshops. If you think that few workshops can help your students become internet mature, it's like, can they become mature communicators by organizing a few workshops for English, let's say even 10 workshops a year? Think how they have been practicing the language of English and at what stage they go and become mature communicator. Right? I guess from nursery to class 12, and then you are confident that, okay, now when they move on outside this campus, they might be mature communicators. So that is, ideally, that should have been the weightage given to digital citizenship and internet maturity. But as we speak, this is work in progress. This is an experiment that we are doing. So, and we are here to share our experience of the struggle that we have started. And we, encourage you also to, avoid falling into the trap of these myths and think about a serious program for DCIM.
You were talking about implementation in the school, but what brought you to the decision that this should be a part? And did you, like, how often have you listened about cases of cyberbullying maybe in your school or nearby or in your community?
Well, more than the teachers, the students use the internet. They are using it much more. And there have been cases, I don't know whether anyone could help me out, telling us that, okay, there is a statistics available in terms of cyberbullying in India as such. Worldwide, if you look, roughly the figure goes to 35 to 40% of the children, they are under this threat or they have reported that being cyberbullied. 50% of the children, they do not report to anyone, either to parent or to the teacher. Those are the cases. So I cannot tell confidently that in my school, if there has been a case of cyberbullying, they have already reported to us. But there are cases when the children they fell into the trap and they came up and they asked for the solution. asking one very simple question. Whenever you are surfing the net, something pops up and there is a cross in the corner. Many a time you have clicked that cross to stop it. You know, there are some cases where even clicking that, you may fall into the trap. There is a way to dealing that. Now, these tips of the educations, we didn't have it. Unless we teach them, actually there is a lot of negativity while you are going through. They must know these are the negativity and then take out the positive essence of internet maturity. That's the reason for which we took the decision. It should be a part of the curriculum. Let them learn it. They cannot avoid it in their life. Better let them teach that and let them go ahead.
Absolutely. I think what I'll do after this conference as well is, like, we had an interview series done with school leaders about digital citizenship. I'll probably share that link to you. In that context, Raghu, I just wanted to bring that question up. Whose responsibility it is, according to you, to help kids gain knowledge? Because there were various perspectives on this, so I would like your perspective as well on this question.
Whose responsibility is it to teach kids about digital citizenship or about becoming mature digital citizens and internet mature? Who are the stakeholders? Who at the end is going to get benefited apart from the student himself or herself? First, of course, parents. Second, school. Then, as sir has mentioned, hugely telecom companies, the cybercrime department of the police, and the IT department of our country, whose hopes of successful Digital India program rests on what we are talking about right now. However, I said first parents, then school. Practically, it should be first school, because you're talking about responsibility. Who should teach this? First school. Why? Because digital citizenship today is a life skill indeed. All aspects of your life depend upon internet today, right? Remove internet from your life today and you might get stuck at a lot of places. So becoming internet mature is a life skill, certainly, so parents should teach it. However, the even bigger impact of digital citizenship and internet maturity is on the education of the child. If school doesn't take initiative of making students internet mature, the education of the child is going to badly get affected. The student could even be, handicapped at the end of class 12 if internet maturity is not taught to him or her. So the first responsibility is with schools, the second with parents, and third, these three people can decide amongst themselves: the cybercrime department, the telecom, and the government of India. These five are the stakeholders, I must say.
So obviously the collaboration between these stakeholders would be a key
the
thing.
collaboration must be there, definitely.
So I would like to open the floor if someone has questions for the panelists, specifically to digital citizenship and internet maturity.
What's the right age to begin this education?
I think I have taken a lot of help from Mr. Pandey. He has implemented in my school, so let him answer this. That would be better. Though we have implemented class 6 upward, but just a couple of days back I had requested him, Raghu, we want a session for classes 2, 3, 4 and 5. I'm giving you the example why I had to take the decision. There's firewall, they clicked something, the names of the sites came, it didn't open further. But it's important for us to teach a student of class 3 also what is safe and what is unsafe. Raghu, if you could answer that specifically.
Ma'am, even we are also learning at this stage, so what I'm sharing is only an experience. Ideally, the right age should be when the child touches the touch screen and starts exploring, but we cannot, push an maturity education into the child at the age of 3, typically 2 and 3 when kids start exploring technology. Why 6th? I have no good answer to that. Sir has already asked me to create something for 3rd, 4th,
So
and 5th.
I think even in the like one of the interviews, I don't know if Gary is still here. So, but in one of his interviews, he mentioned that the cases of cyberbullying and those kind of things that increased when you reach middle school. So that's what he mentioned. even from his experience and surveys done. So I don't know if that adds on to one of the reasons.
It does, it does. See, maybe if I come back to this place next year, I would say class 3 is the right age to begin this. But today, I would say 5th and 6th is the right time when schools can take this initiative. Yes.
Because as they are growing, more users of technology, obviously down the line you will see some point of a time even nursery child will require.
You never know, ma'am.
Kind of a very relative terminology right now. Maybe
You never know, ma'am.
start with.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, the whole curriculum has been designed like that. What they are learning in class 6 and what they are going to learn at the end of class 10 is completely different. They are going in a progressive manner. And by the time today's children of class 6, when they go to class 10, probably we have to invent something else because the technology will go further that time. Ma'am, you had a question.
I want you to say that in our school we are actually implementing it from grade 3 and it is doing wonders.
Yes.
The reason being is the child is small at that age. So being younger, they are getting benefited more, and since they move upwards to grade 6 onwards and all, they are actually, after implementing it, they are getting more benefit about it. And they are becoming more, you can say, secure or a good digital responsible person.
Ma'am, you are absolutely correct. We have got only one cyber law in the country. 17th of October 2000, it was implemented, adopted from UN. And if you look at the threat, there are two ways there are cyber threats. One, it's to the computer. It could be hacking. It could be virus or worm attack like that. The second one, computer is being used as a medium. Okay? That could be for the purpose of terrorism. It could be for fraud in the bank account. It could be for pornography. It could be for anything else. Now you have to teach them because they are using the computer thing. I borrow something from what Mr. Pandey has written in his book, First Car Secret Location, FAST-CAR Secret Location. F, it goes for firewall, keep it in the school. You have antivirus A, you have learn to use strong password. T is for trust with caution. You don't trust anything and everything because phishing is taking place every time. CAR, CAR, you work with confidence and report that's coming. Avoidance, if you find it's not good, avoid it, it's much better. And the R is for reporting and keep your secret location. Don't reveal your location always through the social networking site because that will create a pattern for the child and there could be threat coming through that way also. Children must learn these things. And as a school, I'm sure all of you are having it, you must have AUP, that is the acceptable use policy for the internet or for computers. We have it. It's important to have it and document it, and you must have a proxy server. That's my request. I'm sure the schools are having it, but if you implement through lectures, telling them repeatedly, they will also be aware that, okay, this is the way the world is moving in future.
Perfect. I guess I saw many people writing it down, so I think it is a good takeaway from this session as well. So we have one more question time, so if anyone has a question, then we can, otherwise we can wrap up for lunch.
I have a request to the audience here,
Sure,
and
sure.
also Dr. Shah. These are two things which I've been thinking over this concept since past 9 years when I started evangelizing for my iBranch business. Two things I haven't been able to figure out a probable solution for. One is information overload and another is touch screen addiction. I guess nobody here as well has figured out a solution for because of the obvious reasons. If we can, after this session, if there is one way through EdTechReview.in could collaborate on sharing our thoughts of how we can keep up our kids, if not away, then we help them manage this information overload and touchscreen addiction. Please share your thoughts, please share your ideas, your experiments, your innovations so that the larger community of students benefit from it.
Absolutely, like
can see
you
that
mentioned
time on.
about your practice as well. So people would love to know about how you have done it so that it relates to them as well for their practices. So thanks, Raghu, for bringing that up. So thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you, panelists, for such an inspiring session. We would like to felicitate the panelists on the behalf of EdTechReview and ELC partners. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Amlan Shah. Mr. Raghu Pandey.